Date with the winner of Duke-Syracuse on Sunday. Time to be announced. Head coach Bill Self and Devontae Graham and Malik Newman represent the Jayhawks. We're going to have Bill start off with a statement about the game, and then we'll go to questions for all three gentlemen on the dais. Bill, please.
Well, we're very excited, ecstatic that we were able to win a Sweet 16 game. I thought for 30 minutes, I thought we played very well, and considering playing out of some foul issues, but we just kind of played not to lose down the stretch, and of course allowed them to put some game pressure on us. But they say this time of year is survive and advance, and we were able to do that, and certainly very happy about getting a chance to play in the biggest game of our season thus far Sunday.
Thank you.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. For the two players, when Doka is playing the way he's playing, and he obviously looks healthy now, how does that just change things for you guys, especially the guards? You guys outplay them in the paint, and you're obviously known as a perimeter team.
Devontae first, please.
Just make everything easier for us. We get to play off of him. We always say throw the ball inside, play around Dope, because it's hard to guard him inside, and he can get angles easily, and it opened up shots for us and driving lanes.
Basically piggyback off what Devontae said. He's a guy that we can throw it into, and he can go get a basket. Like I said earlier in the media, I think his passing is underrated. So that's another big key for him. When he's able to throw it in and the defense collapse on him, he's able to kick it out and find an open shooter. So it just opened up the whole game for us.
Jackson Schneider, KJHK. Malik, ever since March began, you've kind of turned over a new leaf and been on just another level. Can you tell us maybe what's changed in you to elevate your play like it has?
My confidence just sky high. I'm not really out there thinking anymore, just playing, doing what Coach asked me to do, and just trying to make plays, winning plays for the team to win. So, I just credit that to my teammates and the coaching staff.
Gary Bedore, Casey Star, Devontae. What did you think of the last couple minutes as the lead was starting to shrink away, and how you guys played down the stretch?
We could have executed a lot better. I don't know why we do that when we have a lead. We start to relax and then, they get the momentum and come back. But I was just thinking, take care of the ball. I knew we was going to have to make free throws to win it, and just trying to get open and knock down the free throws.
Coach, Mark Tracy over here from the New York Times. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you just looked down at the box score and went, whoa. I'm wondering, just now. No? I was wondering what prompted it. I guess not.
No, you may be right. I don't know that I went, whoa. But I was looking at free throws, and, Devontae said make our free throws, and we're 14 to 22. We certainly got to do a better job of closing the game out. But the box score, looks pretty good. We said we couldn't let two of their three guards have huge games, and only one of them did. And if a second one had, we wouldn't have had enough. So we did just enough.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Devontae, you've played in the Elite Eight the last 2 years, and you guys have fallen short. Just will you think about those games at all the next 2 days, and how much, last year you didn't have Udoka there, you didn't have that low post dimension. To have him, how much different do you think that could make Sunday compared to last year?
I think about it all the time. I just told the guys in the locker room, I've been here the last 2 years, and this year we got to get over that hump. Doka's gonna make a huge difference. When he's in there, like I just said, his presence is, you can't duplicate it, and he's a big factor to our team.
Jake Trotter with ESPN. Bill, your thoughts on Sunday, looking ahead, going up against two Hall of Fame coaches, two iconic programs, and two schools that Kansas has actually played in national championship games?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but certainly on the first two, blue bloods and unbelievable coaches, and whoever we play, obviously, it'll be a challenge. If there is a positive about whoever we play, we know what they're probably going to do defensively. So, you know, we were able to practice against the zone. You know, it's hard to simulate theirs, but practice against a spread wide, you know, relatively long zone on Tuesday this past week. But whoever it is, we know that, you know, we're going to have to execute a heck of a lot better against the zone than what we did when Clemson went zone tonight.
Bill, like Zach Brazil, New York Post, like I asked Devontae, you know, not having Udoka last year, I know you guys obviously had a great year without him, you know, since when he got hurt, but how much of a difference could it make to have that low post threat where if the threes aren't falling, you have another avenue to go?
I think it would help. You know, last year we also had Landon Lucas that was a really good five-man for us, but probably not the score as what you're referring to probably. And we had a guy that was really good inside, you know, Josh Jackson kind of as a kind of a swing guy, but you know, Doak gives us something that a lot of teams makes it hard for anybody to guard, and when you can stretch the court with four shooters and play around a big guy that can score on the post. And so we obviously are going to have to play through him some without question. But the biggest thing is just his presence in the game, I think, gives us something from a defensive and rebounding perspective we were definitely missing when he was out.
We are halfway through the session. Next question's right here.
Sean Guzman, Daily Kensing. Coach, were you happy with the patience and shot selection from your guys, at least for the first 30 minutes?
Yeah. I thought the first 30 we played pretty well. I thought we had a chance to. We got up 20, and then they cut it to like 13 or whatever, or 14, and then we got it back to 20. And I really felt like the first 30 minutes we looked like a really good basketball team. And the last 10, I didn't think we played very well at all. But you know, we were playing, you know, not to lose down the stretch as opposed to trying to close them out. But you know, we did enough, and certainly, you know, nobody can say that we played our best game yet. So we haven't played our best game yet. So hopefully that'll come Sunday.
To the players, what did you think of Silvio tonight? It seemed like he had a good game.
Malik, you're first this time.
I mean, I think he had a good game. Looking at it, he had, 9 and 6. 13 minutes. So those was great production. I mean, a little short amount of time that he was in, and he was able to give big fella a rest. And I just think he did a good job. And when he got in, nothing dropped off. I mean, I think everything either stayed the same or it picked up.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Bill, Devontae talked about it. You know, he thinks about those Elite Eight games a lot the last 2 years. I mean, how do you make sure your guys are loose for Sunday after, you know, you've obviously waited a full calendar year to get back to this point?
Well, I think, you know, I can't speak for our players, but I would think Devontae would agree with me. I don't think tightness was our problem last year. I just don't think we played very well. I think that, you know, we had played almost 3 perfect games going into that game, and pretty much laid an egg against Oregon. But you know, I want to take. I'm so proud of our team because I think of all the teams that we've had here, this would be the team that everyone would have thought would not be in this game. And so we're in this game. We got a legitimate shot to go to San Antonio, and I told our guys after the game, even though it's not a guarantee, you prepare the whole year to play in this game. And so I think we'll play with no what ifs. I think we'll let it go. I think we'll be as loose as we can be, and you know, still you got to make shots. But I think about it all the time. Devontae's not won the last 2. There's been 7 that I haven't won, but when I've been the head coach, and so certainly it's etched in the back of my brain, and you know, I'd like nothing more than to take my team this year to San Antonio and let them experience what the best of the best is in college basketball.
Why do you think this team, you said, like, for this team to be in the game, it's like, you know, it's pretty unlikely. Why do you feel like why do you feel that way?
Well, when you're going through the season and you know, you lose arguably your most talented guy that never suited up for you. I mean, as far as raw talent, and you play small all year long, and I've never played like this. I've never played where you play 4 little guards around 1 big, and it just goes against the grain from the teams that we've had in the past. But these guys have figured it out, and they've learned how to play through it, and we've had unbelievable guard play and unbelievable leadership from our vets, and had some guys have some outstanding seasons. But it doesn't take much to know, and guys would agree. Our margin for error isn't as great as what it has been when you can run out 6'9". We've had teams here when Cole Aldridge was here, Thomas Robinson was here, Marcus Morris was here, Markieff Morris is here, and Jeff Withey's your fifth best big guy. And it's just totally different than what we're doing now, because now if Doak gets 2 fouls early, it's like, oh my gosh, can we just fill the void? So I just think there's less margin for error, but these guys have certainly rallied around that.
We have time for 2 more questions. One here, one there. Go.
Jackson Schneider, KJHK. This to the players. Guys, this has been kind of a crazy year for March Madness, a lot of upsets and everything on maybe the other side of the bracket, but has that kind of helped keep you guys focused a little bit, going up against some teams that maybe you might overlook at some point?
Devontae, lead us off, please.
I definitely think that's one of the things, but also we just know we got to be focused. If we slip up and don't come prepared, it's going to be the end of the season, and we all love each other, want to be with each other like for as long as we can, and especially us seniors, me and Svi and Clay, we want to let this last as long as possible, because we know there's no tomorrow and no turning back once we lose.
The AP broadcast. This question is for Malik. Malik, you redshirted last year. How much are you looking forward to playing in the Elite Eight?
I'm very excited about it. This is what you come to Kansas for, to, like Coach said, experience the best. So, Sunday, I'll be excited. It's really all I can say about it. I'll just be excited about it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. You're dismissed. We'll see you Sunday. They want you to go that way. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Good job. Clemson Tigers are now with us. Head coach Brad Brownell, Marquise Reed, Gabe DeVoe represent the Tigers. We're going to ask the head coach to make a statement on the game. Then we'll go to questions for all 3 gentlemen from Clemson. Brad, please.
First off, congratulate Kansas. I thought they were really ready to play and just had a really good gear today. I thought their tempo was great, and probably caused us not to play our best game. We just seemed a little bit out of sorts, struggled on the glass early, and I think that was a big problem. And then for whatever reason, maybe a little bit of nerves, I don't know, but we turned the ball over. And you're going to struggle when you don't rebound well and you turn it over on offense. I thought that was a big factor in the game. And then I thought a couple of the Kansas kids were very opportunistic in shooting. I thought Malik Newman played extremely well and made some tough shots. Udoka was a huge factor. They're a completely different team when he's on the floor. He just was a difference maker. Obviously, was 7 out of 9, and his rebounding. That's a major problem because of all the 3-point shooting. It's he's one-on-one down there, and he's a major factor. I'm proud of our kids. I thought our kids competed. You know, we didn't have our best game, and sometimes that's not easy to keep fighting like that, but our guys took it to the wire, and if we just, you know, made 1 or 2 more plays, we might have a chance to tie this thing. So couldn't be more proud of our guys, the way they competed today, but it's just been an unbelievable pleasure to coach these guys. They've been tremendous all season. Questions?
First question. Right there. Thank you.
Sean Goodwin, Daily Kensington. Coach, can you just talk a bit about the technical foul a little bit before halftime and just what got Dick to momentum?
Yeah, you know, we weren't playing very well, but at 7 minutes to go in the first half, I think it was a 2-point game. And obviously we didn't close the half well. It might have been 7 or 8 when the technical happened, and I think we had just had a little small run with a basket or two, and I guess D'Souza and Thomas got their arms together, which happens, and Eli got his elbow up and grazed him or whatever, and so it's a technical. Obviously, that's a huge play because you're not only giving them 2 points and then the ball, but Eli now has a second foul. And it was just another example of how it felt like a mountain that we were climbing all day. And it's kind of one of those things when nothing seems to be happening well for your team. That was just another in a long line in the first half.
Ian Eklund, AP Broadcast. This is for Gabe. Looking at the box score, it looks like you left it all out on the court today. Did you leave it all out there, and how do you feel?
Yeah, I thought I did. Just trying any way possible to give my team a chance to win at the end. Really try to rally the guys in the first half when we got down. Just continue to fight. Make some big stops down the stretch. It gave us a chance, but we just weren't able to get over the hump.
Yeah, for Brad, Chuck Culpepper from the Washington Post. When you said they're a whole different team when he's out there, what are maybe some details that make that so?
Well, obviously he can score one-on-one. His size is so big that he's catching the ball 5 feet from the rim. And because they have 4 guys making shots, like, you know, Vic is the guy who you would think maybe we can help a little bit off Vic because he's like their worst three-point shooter, but he still has 50 some odd on the season, and he goes 3 for 6 tonight. So there's not like most teams have somebody that you can kind of scratch off. So one of the reasons they're so hard to guard is they've got a center that scores if he catches it deep, and he's bigger than everybody on the floor. So he does get position, and then you got guards that can all make shots and drive by you, and they play with great spacing. So it's just you know, it's good coaching, it's good players, and you know, if they don't have a center like that, then you don't care as much if they throw it in there and guy scores a little bit, but Udoka scored enough to be a problem. And even D'Souza played well, but you know, Udoka hit a huge left-hand hook in the second half late. I mean, that's a tough shot, and he made that shot right when we were kind of had some momentum. That was a big play, and obviously he had others.
Anything else for the gentleman from Clemson? Yes. Thank you.
Just one more also for Coach. How you think, I mean, it's the first time in 21 years you got to this point. And, I mean, you've said a few things about it, but how do you think everybody handled it, and what do you think it means for you?
I think it means a lot. Obviously, the exposure we've gotten in the last, you know, couple weeks have been terrific. Confidence in our players to know that we can get to this point and play with these kinds of teams. We do it on a regular basis in our league, but to go out to San Diego and play the way we played tremendous out there. And, you know, so I think those are big things. You know, I don't know if, you know, I'd like not to think that the lights didn't bother us a little. We play in a league where we play this kind of competition on a regular basis, but by the way we played in the first half, we had some careless turnovers and we had some things that made it look like we were a little starstruck a couple times. And I just think we had a hard time settling in. And even when it was 25-23, I think that was a score with 7 minutes to go in the first half, I really didn't feel like we were playing well. And, you know, again, some of that is because of Kansas. But we just weren't in a comfortable spot like we'd been, and we just had a hard time kind of getting comfortable most of the day. And I don't know if that was because of the nature of the game or, you know, just playing Kansas. But certainly it was a great run here, and I couldn't be prouder of these guys.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Yep.